there's another way to find jobs that I've actually explored for some time. To the company, any company you love. So it can be, let's say, Total. So instead of waiting for Total to actually find a job, you actually go to their careers page. So every company, almost all the company, let me not say every company, because I've actually seen some companies that do not have career page. So, but most companies have career page. So when you go to their career page, you just check the jobs that they have out. You can also, sometimes they have talent community where you sign up and then they will send you a lot of jobs. So you can actually do that. It will also help you. So, but for people like you, recent graduates and students, I would say that you should focus on volunteering opportunities. I know a lot of us will say, I don't want to work for free. But the truth is, the job market is very competitive, and there are people that have this experience and skills that companies are looking for. If you, without a skill or experience, is coming to, you know, to also search for such jobs, they may the recruiter will just laugh it off because they're like, why is this one applying? But if you have the experience by volunteering, offering your service for free. Like my HR for dev that I currently run, I run it with volunteers because of course we are not earning anything there. So I've worked with people who wanted to volunteer just for them to gain the skills and the experience to add to their CVs. So you can actually decide to volunteer for any organization that actually does what you're interested in. Or let's say you want to gain skills in content development, you can volunteer. You can ask if you know how. Of course, you need to like have a basic like knowing how to write. You can actually ask that, okay, I want to volunteer. Reach out to the person on LinkedIn or any other platform you can find the person and offer your services, or even search for volunteer opportunities online. There are several of them. There is one called Volunteer Match on a company called Volunteer Match that you can actually check out. They offer volunteer opportunities. There's also UNV, United Nations Volunteer. You can find opportunities there also. But I know that the truth is, even on those platforms, they actually still look for people with experience. But then you can start from somewhere. Another thing is, for example, you want to start a career in social media management. There's something I always tell people. Instead of waiting for a company to work for a company, you can actually create your own social media platform and then be posting. What it does is that it helps you to develop your writing skills. It's so the more you post, the more better you get at it. So you can create a page about anything and then start, putting out content. And the truth is, with the age of chat GPT and the other content development platforms, it's easier to actually do these things. So, like I said, you offer your volunteer service, you start your own, because anything you do will actually count as an experience for you. When they call you for interview, they will ask you, what experience do you have? You can actually talk about what you've done or what. If I would talk about myself, how I actually got to where I am right now, I started off with in my service year. After the I joined NYSC, I volunteered to work with the SDGs. SDGs means Sustainable Development Goals. So I volunteered that I want to be part of them in the SDG. That's how I met my current my ex boss, who saw me there and saw the way I spoke and decided to um share the opportunity she had in an organization with me. So when she shared it, I applied. She brought me in. So I joined the NGO. It was an NGO. So that's how I started off in Mina, doing project management for them. I learned how to do a little coding, how to code a bit. And that's how I actually moved from being a project lead, then project officer, to being a human resource person. And today here I am. So another thing is starting small. Somebody may be offering you a job that is just paying 10,000. Don't look down on that job. As far as you know that you may need the skills, especially when that skills is important for you or the experience is important for you. It can be that they want you to just work as a project officer and they will pay you just 20K. Don't say the money is too small. Start from somewhere. I will always say start from somewhere. So I remember one of my former colleague when I was working with the NGO, when he came, he we offered him because he was an NGO, a small Nigerian NGO, like there was not enough grants coming in then, so the pay was very low. So when I interviewed him, I found out that he actually was good. He graduated from communications related course, and we were looking for a communications person then. So he applied, did everything and passed. So I shared the offer with him. He was like, this money is quite small. So, but I told him that yes, the money is small, but the truth is, you will gain a lot of experience, and then it's going to open doors for other opportunities for you. That's what I believe, and that's what the advice I actually gave him when he applied for that opportunity. And truly, the place he is in his career now is, I would say that is for him. He always tell me that he appreciated what I said to him. So you would see that starting off small is, most graduates will tell you that they don't want to work where they will pay them less than 50,000. I know the economy is bad right now, but don't think about now. Think about tomorrow. What is this skill that I'm going to acquire help me to gain? What career path will I start off? Will this contribute? That's the question you should be asking. Will this contribute to my career? Will this be beneficial to me? So if all these questions you answer yes to it, you should take up the opportunities, especially when there's no other opportunities for you at that point. You can take up the opportunity and start from there. And I bet you will not regret it, because of course I've seen countless people that have actually made it from starting small. So it's very important that you start small. But if you are lucky to start big, then that's the prayer for everyone. Everyone wants to start big actually. So, but don't be shy to start small. Any question before I continue? It's as if I'm talking to myself. So I don't keep talking to myself. Any question? They said no, ma. Does anyone else? For me, how many minutes do I have more? For me, are you there? Okay. Habib said 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So I've talked about, you know, your CV, how to, where to find these jobs, LinkedIn. Another thing I want to talk about is your email messaging skills. A lot of times people are like, it doesn't matter. Sometimes a company may just say, okay, apply via an email. They've told you everything, you meet the requirements, but then they're saying you should send your CV or cover letter to them via email. What do you do? A lot of times people just send it like as a human resource person, I've seen a lot of things that actually make me laugh. So people will just send their CV and send their cover letter without writing anything. That's very bad. Like it can easily make the person just ignore your own application, actually look at other people that actually write something in the body of their email. So you should never ever send your CV and cover letter to any email address without adding a body to the email. So how do you add a body to an email? You start by saying hello. Sorry. Okay, you start by hello the person's name. So if the person say, if for example the person is saying that you should address a particular person in the email, you can say, let's assume that the person is Rachel. I'll be writing it here. You say, hey, hello Rachel, and then I am writing blah blah blah. I am writing to apply for blah blah. Just even if you've written a cover letter, you should also tell them first. You can actually start by introducing yourself. Um, my name is my name. My name is John. Your full name, John Boo. Stop. You then write, I am writing to apply for blah blah blah, and then you now talk about your education. You can say, I have a BSc in geography. I have a BSc in this. If you have maybe 1 year experience or 2 years, you can say, I have 2 years experience as a. Of course, you should always write relate. You also talk about related position. Don't, if for example they are asking for somebody that have an experience in content management, don't go and be writing about your human resource experience, except in that human resource experience you have content development, maybe something related to content development that you think would be useful in that role that you're applying for. But if it's not related, don't write about it. It's not necessary. But you say, I am writing to apply for so position. I have 4 years experience. I have 2 years experience, or I'm a graduate of this degree or this, and then I'm a graduate and I'm interested in, after you've written all those things, you can then write, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Or you can also talk about the role that you saw that the role is for this one and you think you meet the requirement because you are passionate, you have the experience and you have the skills and all that. Then you write, thank you for your time. And if you've attached your CV, then you first of all write, please find attached my CV and cover letter for your review. Thank you for your time and looking forward to hearing from you. Then at the end of the day, you write best regards or kind regards, whatever, your name, John. Boo. Then John Boo, you send. Then you send it. So don't come to that place where somebody just says you should add your CV and cover letter. You add that only, and you don't write anything in the body. And that's one of the way they will just disqualify your own application. So you should ensure to always have something in the body of your email. It's very, very important. And Olayemi, are you raising your hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I
please
have
go
a
ahead.
question. Yes,
Okay.
you said whenever we're writing anything in the body of the email, that we should write
Mm,
dear or hello, the person's name. But what about
yes,
in scenarios whereby the name is not stipulated in the email, like it might be something job or something,
yes,
a very, very
yes,
weird email address.
yes. I
How are we
understand.
supposed to address the person? Because there's like a debate on it. Don't say dear hiring manager, don't
Yes,
say
yes.
dear sir, don't say dear
No,
ma.
no, no. No, the truth is, one thing I do is if it is a company, I try to go on LinkedIn to check for that company, then try to find a human resource person there. So it's going to be easy for you if it's just one human resource person. Do you get? If it's just one,
Yes.
you can just gauge that, okay, it may be this person. But if it's multiple human resource person that you don't know who to actually address it to, you can use their hiring manager. There's actually nothing wrong with that. I've received so many applications where it's dear hiring manager, and I did not judge that. The only thing I
Um,
would judge, please don't use dear sir or ma. I don't know for companies in Nigeria anyway, because Nigerians, we like this respect mentality. But then I would just say you should leave it as dear hiring manager is better if you don't know the person you're going to address it to. But just try as much as possible first to actually check the company online. Check LinkedIn to find the human resource person. You know what it does? It makes the recruiter to actually understand that you went beyond others. You get, like, you actually went beyond. You actually Google them, you search them to actually look for the person that is in charge. So that is like an added point for you. For me personally, I'm talking based on my own experience as a recruiter. Everybody's different. But then If you don't know the person's name, use dear hiring manager.
Okay. Thank you, ma.
So, are you good?
Yes, ma.
Yemi, are you good? Okay. So, any other question before I talk about the last thing for today? Um, Habib, please just give
Um,
me some
I,
more minutes.
I'm sorry, I have one more question.
Okay.
When it comes to applying for job roles, I mean, there are some people that come up to say, "Oh, this specific experience is not related to the job you're applying for." Does that matter, or do you just put?
I don't know if I'm the only
I,
one that is having issues hearing Yemi
oh, can
because
you
I
hear me
can't hear what
better?
she's saying.
Because what about Nama?
Am I the only one? Or
Is it my network?
is it from me? Can you hear me?
I can hear
Can
you.
anyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Mm.
Miss Yemi, can you please just type it out for her to read,
Okay,
please?
okay, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yemi, can you ask your second question or you can type it?
It's actually quite long. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can.
Okay, thank you. So when applying for a particular job role, is it that I'm just to pick relevant experiences? And what if I don't have experience in that particular? Can I just gather experiences from other things I've done, even though they're not relating to that particular job role?
Okay. That's all.
Yes, ma, that's all.
Okay. So first of all, if you all listen to me, I said that when you want to apply for a job, try to use relevant experience. Now there are two types of jobs you can apply for. There are jobs for recent graduates. There are jobs for people that are in their early careers. So in that job, in that situation, they need people that do not have experience or people that have just 1 year experience or 2 years experience. Companies like KPMG, PwC, I know you say they are big companies, but me, I'm not afraid to aim high. So I want us to also have that mindset. KPMG, PwC, all these, big companies, Total, all those, Unilever, all those big companies, they actually have graduate trainee positions. Even some NGOs, they have graduate trainee positions that for people without experience. So you can apply for even banks also have graduate training roles for people without experience. So in that you can also apply, look for early careers and apply. So you can just have maybe one experience that is not even relevant. You can add it there. So in that case, your experience do not count. It may be that they're looking at your age, your course that you graduated with, your CGPA, the course you graduated from. That's what they may be looking at. But then there is another job that you can apply, but those are for people that are experienced. So they expect that you have, if for example, they say they're looking for people with 3 years experience in human resources or 3 year experience in social media management. Those are the people that will apply, people that actually have that experience. It can be that maybe your own experience is not social media manager. It may be that you work as a community manager, but you have social media experience in that as a community manager. You also had experience managing social media accounts. You get, in that case, you can actually apply and add it, but you must show in your responsibility that you have the experience that they're looking for. Yeah, me, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to show that if you are applying for an experience hire, that you actually have the relevant experience that they're looking for. So only add relevant experience if you're applying for a role for experienced hire. But if you are applying for an early career experience, that they're just looking for people, let's say people that are 26 years old with a 2-1 or 2-2 in accounting. So they're not looking at the experience. So regardless of the experience you add there, they would only look at that criteria. Those are the requirements that are actually used to shortlist people. Do you get? So for me personally, I've actually done a lot of recruitment. So what I look out for when I'm screening resumes, I work based on the requirements. So let's say we are advertising for we are looking for people with accounting experience, and somebody that have a BSc in accounting or an MSc in accounting with 2 years experience in accounting. So that's what I'm going to look out for when I want to, shortlist people. So I'm not going to be looking at for 5 years experience, though the first shortlist will come with 2 years experience, but then there may be other things that are desirable, like maybe somebody that have a skill with a particular accounting software. Then I will not look out for those to actually get my final shortlist. But then you should always, look at, just check what they need and then ensure that your application meets that requirement that they're asking for. Do you get? Is there any other question before I move to the last thing? Okay. So the last thing I want to say is about interviews. Now, interviews, you have, congratulations, you've been shortlisted and you are invited for an interview. Let's say most probably it's going to be a Zoom interview. These days, interviews have moved from physical. I know there are still companies that do physical interviews, especially schools and some other companies. But most companies now, especially if you are aiming towards big jobs, big companies, they use remote interviews, which is doing interview via any software. It can be Google Meet, it can be Zoom, it can be Teams, it can be any platform. So how do you get prepared for an online interview or even a physical interview? So first thing I always advise people to do when they get called for an interview, try to remember the position that you applied for. That they're actually calling you for, because you find out sometimes people are invited because they've applied for so many positions, they actually forget that they applied for this position. Like, sorry, did I apply for this position? Please don't ask anyone that invites you for interview that kind of question. So what you do is try to find the company and then search because most times when you apply for a job, you get to receive maybe a confirmation, or you apply via email on your using your email. So what you do is use your Google search to look for the name of the company. So probably you may find the first confirmation email that will tell you, okay, you applied for this role. Then you can use the name of the role, go back on Google search and search for that role. So when you search for the role, it will show you, Google will bring out result that will show you that role, the requirements and the responsibilities. So that will give you a background. Looking at the responsibilities, the requirements will now make you get prepared. It's okay, they are going to ask so questions. Then you can now Google questions that they ask for that particular role. Like you can check out interview questions for this particular role, interview question for accounting officer, interview question for a social media manager. You will see multiple questions that they can ask you. You can then try to, look at these questions, find answers. You can check YouTube. There are many videos. In fact, there's so many, materials you can use to get prepared for interview. So you can check on YouTube, find people who are actually answering these questions on YouTube. So you watch them, how they answer this question. Then you practice it. You can ask a friend, you can ask a family member, please, can you be my interviewer? Why I'm the one that is actually answering the interview question? You're asking me questions, I'm answering. So what that helps you to do is it helps you to get prepared so that when the day comes, you'll be confident enough to answer those questions. So they will be asking you those questions one after the other, then you answer and then ask them how you performed. If you did poorly, you will redo the process again. So the more you continue the process, the more better you get. So that day you are prepared enough to answer the question. But please don't cram. I know that most of us, especially our university students, I know we cram a lot because I remember me being a very good. I like cramming, but what you should do is to try to understand what the questions are trying to ask you rather than cramming it.